Hello, I'm Dr. Jeff Smith, author of the book Living Pain-Free, It's Your Choice. That means I wrote the book on how to live a pain-free life. We're here to talk about peripheral neuropathy today. Now if you're watching this video, or you have peripheral neuropathy, or you know someone that has had peripheral neuropathy, this video is going to change your life. We consult with over 18,000 patients a year out of this office here in Bentonville, Arkansas. We have a website. It's called www.thechronicpainclinic.com. thechronicpainclinic.com. If you'll go to that website, you'll get some information about our office. You'll get to read about patients much like yourself that have gone through our treatments and successfully changed their lives. When you come in to see me, I'll give you a copy of the DVD. This DVD has our patients' testimonies on there. People that couldn't wait to not tell others about their success. We want you to be a part of that. We also have in our office a book. It's called Clinic Success Stories, where our patients have written letters, hundreds of letters about their success in our office. We're here to talk about peripheral neuropathy and why medicine and treatments have failed you up till this point in time. How do you finally end your chronic health care condition? How do you finally end peripheral neuropathy? Or restless leg syndrome for that matter, because they're tied closely together. What makes us so different? We treat our patients metabolically and neurologically. Metabolically and neurologically. Okay, what does that mean exactly? Well, metabolically it means we're going to look at your blood. We're going to look at the chemistries inside of your body. Okay, how does that affect a restless leg syndrome or a peripheral neuropathy patient? When we examine you, we leave no stone unturned. We check everything. Here's why that's important. Number one, we're going to run specific metabolic panels on you. Okay? We're going to look at things like thyroid, a complete metabolic count. A lipid panel with your triglycerides, your HDLs, and your LDLs. A complete blood count with autodifferential. Now, I know what you're going to say. Doctor, I've had all the blood tests. I'm normal. I'm fine. The doctor went over the test with me and said it's fine. Okay? Why are you still sick? If your tests are fine, why are you watching this video? Here's why. When your doctor gets that report from the lab, and we'll just use thyroid as an example, okay? That lab report says your thyroid should be between 0.5 and 5.0. Your number was 3.4, let's say. Your doctor will take that lab report and say, oh, well, you're 3.4, you're within normal range, right? There's nothing wrong with your thyroid. Well, doctor, why am I still sick? Why do I still have restless leg, peripheral neuropathy if there's nothing wrong with me? Here's why. What the lab says is normal is not what is functionally normal. Functionally normal, or in other words, optimal, is a whole different ball of wax. The lab range is 0.5 to 5.0 for thyroid. The functional range, or optimal range, is 1.8 to 3.0. If you're a 3.4, your thyroid is too high, and your doctor didn't catch it. Okay? We have to run these tests because we got to know what is the optimal functioning level of your body. Because if you have anything out of those ranges, your restless leg and your peripheral neuropathy will not get better under any circumstance. All those conditions, all those chronic conditions have to be addressed and looked at. Okay? Sensitivity testing. What is sensitivity testing? We run a test on our patients called an ASI test, Adrenal Stress Index test. Sensitive test. We need to know if you're sensitive to soy, gluten, yeast, milk, eggs. Now, why would that be important to know? Well, if you're sensitive, if your body is sensitive to any one of those things, these are some of the symptoms. Number one, chronic pain or fatigue. If you have restless leg, or if you have peripheral neuropathy, you have chronic pain. And you're probably going to be fatigued because you're up all hours of the night anyway. frequent indigestion, bloating after you eat. You know, you ever eaten and just felt kind of, ugh. That's from sensitivity to those foods. Constipation or alternative frequent loose bowel movements, mouth ulcers and sores. You could have sores in your mouth. You could vomit. All of that is just from being sensitive to those food items. How do you know if you're sensitive? You run the test. But your doctor has to know to do that. Adrenal stress index, I just mentioned that. Why were the adrenal glands, why would they be important to an RLS or a peripheral neuropathy patient? Well, your adrenal glands sit right here on top of your kidneys, and they're basically your stress glands. Okay? If you have pain, your body is experiencing stress. And if your adrenal glands aren't working, your body is not going to be able to handle that stress, and it will add to the pain levels. It will snowball. Okay? Your blood pressure will go high or out of control. Okay? You can't sleep at night. The cortisone levels in your brain will go up. That'll cause you to be wide awake at 3 o'clock in the morning and dead tired at 3 p.m. in the afternoon. Okay? All that's related to the ASI test. Okay? If you suffer from those things, that test is the only test that's going to show us why. Okay? More importantly, what to do about it. Autoimmune disorder. Why would an autoimmune disorder be relevant in a peripheral neuropathy or a RLS patient? Restless leg. Well, if you're autoimmune, that means your body's going to attack itself from the inside out. It will attack and eat away at the nerve endings. Attack the brain tissue. Okay? If you have peripheral neuropathy, your nerve endings are already on fire. Alright? You don't want your body adding to it. We need to know. The only way to know, again, is to run the test. Many patients that suffer from chronic pain like you have immune problems. There's antibodies you can look at for the thyroid, for example. TPO and TPG. If those antibodies are too high in your bloodstream, you're going to suffer from Hashimoto's disease. What's Hashimoto's disease? Well, it's an underfunctioning thyroid. And essentially what it means is you're going to be tired and gain weight and not be able to lose it. Okay? Your immune system literally can attack your nervous system, which would cause pain and numbness to be worse. It's possible that your immune system is actually causing your peripheral neuropathy and your restless leg. Not a pinched nerve. It could be just your immune system. How would you know that? Run the test. But your doctor has to know what to do. He has to know what tests to run. We run tests like lymphocyte subpopulation, Th1 and Th2 cytokine panels, natural killer cell panels. Those tests tell us exactly what's happening inside your immune system. Okay? And without it, we're not going to know what's wrong. Okay? H. pylori, Helicobacter pylori, that's a bacteria that's in our gut. We all have it. We all should have it, but we shouldn't have an excess amount of it. What happens if you have too much of it? Well, you suffer from leaky gut syndrome. Your intestines leak inside your body. Now, you know what happens when an appendix bursts? A person gets really sick really fast. Well, if leaky gut syndrome is happening, the same thing's going to be occurring. Okay? How would that affect RLS or peripheral neuropathy? Well, if you get sick from the inside out, it's going to make all your pain worse. Make you even sicker. Neurotransmitters. We're going to test for decreased neurotransmitters. In restless leg or peripheral neuropathy, if your legs aren't working the way they should, your brain could be the culprit. Your brain is supposed to send signals down. Now, the right brain controls the whole left-hand side of your body, and the left brain controls the whole right-hand side. Okay? I like to explain it like this. If you have a car engine and you're running down the road, the right 4 cylinders are going at 3,000 RPMs and the left are going at 1,200. How far is your car going to get down the road? Not very far. Well, how well would your body work if the right side of your brain is going 3,000 and the left 1,200? Equally not as good. So that's why it's important to run those tests. We need to know. Hormone panels. Well, testosterone levels in females and males. We have to know what those levels are, because if they're off, it can cause fogginess in the mind, mood swings, depression, weight gain, and decreased physical stamina. So you combine that with restless leg or peripheral neuropathy and you're having an awful bad day. Inflammation. Why would inflammation be important? Well, if the nerve endings of your legs or the nerve endings of your hands from peripheral neuropathy are inflamed, they're going to hurt. They're going to feel like things are on fire. Okay? That's caused by inflammation inside your body. Glutathione. What's the level of glutathione that you have in your body? Well, glutathione is the mother lode of all antioxidants. And if you don't have enough of it in your system, you're not going to be able to clean out any of the toxins or the bad things in your body. Okay? Glutathione can only be taken either with a nebulizer, you breathe it, with a cream you rub on, or with a suppository. If your doctor tries to give it to you in a pill form, don't take it. It's not going to work. Okay? How do we treat restless leg? How do we treat peripheral neuropathy? Well, metabolically, we run the tests, we figure out what's wrong, we correct the chemistries in the blood and in the body, then we have to treat it neurologically as well. That's where brain-based therapy comes in. Your brain needs two things, fuel and activation. Fuel comes in the form of glucose, which you put in your mouth, sugars, and oxygen, proper amounts of oxygen. Activation, or how do you turn on parts of the brain that aren't working, is important as well. We use things like vibration therapy to get the brain working. We may use a laser on you, laser therapy to stimulate your brain function. Okay? We also use a laser beam on the feet and legs to stimulate the nerve endings into working again. We may use spinal decompression. If your legs aren't working because there's something compressing in your spine and preventing your brain from communicating with your feet, we have to open up those channels. We have to create a little space in there. Sometimes we use a metronome to connect the right and the left side of the brain together again. Okay? All those things are part of a neurological and a metabolic approach that we use in this office that makes us so darn successful in eliminating these problems from people's lives. Now, when you come in to see me, we're going to ask you four basic questions. 4 questions. Number 1, how has your peripheral neuropathy and your restless leg affected your job, your relationship, your finances, your family, or your ability to go do activities like fishing and golf? How has it affected you? Number 2, what does it cost you in terms of time, money, happiness, family time? What does it cost you? Number 3, where do you picture yourself in between 1 and 3 years if your problem is not taken care of soon? Well, probably a lot worse, right? And number 4, what is it worth to you if we can improve your condition? What is it worth in times of your time, your effort, your willingness to do the things we ask you to do? What is it worth you to do that? Is it worth those things to get rid of your problems? I would say so. I would say so. What do I do next? I get that question a lot. What do I do next, doctor? Well, here's what you do. You call our office, 479-271-6992. 479-271-6992. Ask for an appointment for an evaluation. We're going to run 4 basic tests on you. Okay? When you come in, I'll give you a copy of the chapter in the book on restless leg and RLS and on brain-based therapy. I'll also give you a DVD video that you can watch of patients just like you that have gone through my program and couldn't wait to tell their story, couldn't wait to tell their successes. Okay? When you call and make your appointment, they're going to schedule 2 appointments. On the first day, we're going to do all your tests. Okay? We're going to run those 4 screening tests, and we'll run them for free. We'll bring you back another day and tell you the results. We'll tell you yes or no. Can I accept you as a patient or not? Now, we treated over 18,000 patients last year. I will not accept a patient if they're not serious about getting well. We are only here to accept those patients into our program that we're confident we can help. If you're not willing to put in the time and the effort, don't waste your time. Don't waste your money. Don't waste my time. Okay? But if you're serious about changing your life, call that number. Make an appointment. I'm Dr. Jeff Smith. I look forward to seeing you in the future. Have a blessed day.
Go ahead.
Okay, I'm Freda Porter from Bentonville, Arkansas.
All right, Freda, what condition are you being treated for in our clinic today?
I have collapsed vertebra in my neck and herniated discs in my back.
Okay. How long have you had those conditions?
Well, probably longer than I knew, but I've been here 2 years now.
Mm-hmm. Okay. And how has your treatment benefited you so far, and what kind of experience have you had in the clinic?
It has rendered me pain-free for the most part. It has allowed me to continue my job. It has just changed my life.
That's a big one, being able to work, isn't it?
Yes, it is. A very big one. Very important.
All right. Thank you.
Okay.
In my personal experience, they have been so patient, so persistent. Even when I came in, I would come in on days when my pain wasn't getting better and I felt discouraged. They would never miss a beat. They would always be positive about it and stay persistent with the treatment. And they would put up with my frustrations and deal with my questions. They've just been like a second family. I mean, I want to give everybody in this building a big hug because I see now that I'm actually getting better.
See our ad in names and numbers.